But that's now on the podcast.
It'd be flat.
Already there.
We are already started. And this is how
We are here. What is
doesn't even matter.
Everybody? Welcome to episode 42 of All the
Nice.
Back
Hey, that's the
Hash.
answer to everything.
Is the answer to
Yeah, let's go.
It is
Let's
always,
go.
always. So if you can't tell already, we have some very, very special guests with us. So this episode, we're just kind of doing an interview, chill out kind of thing.
It's like this guy.
So with us today, I kind of teased it in last week's episode if you were listening to the very end here. But we have some of the best drum corps of all time. I think, like,
They're
I
never
mean,
out of tune.
What are
never
they
out of
showing?
tune.
Wait,
I've
what?
never seen one drill set missed.
Never miss a step off.
Spacing spectacular.
Props are phenomenal.
The crispest
Man,
downbeats.
we got to
over
give
here.
the kids a break off tomorrow.
Might need to.
Laundry
So
day.
with
Free
us,
day.
if you wanted to know, is Alex and Day Day from Intermission Drum and Bugle Corps. So happy for you guys to be here. Love having you guys on here. Love the Twitter. They have a podcast as well called Snack Talk. If you ever want to listen to theirs, I think it's on Spotify and Stitcher. And is there any other places you can get Snack Talk at?
I think we have our snack talk going everywhere.
It's like going on YouTube. Too.
Yeah, we're working on getting
Nice.
episodes up on YouTube as well. But
Nice.
That's what's up.
Well, I know I've been looking at we'll shop here for a second. I've been looking at Apple Podcasts. You have to pay for that. And
Hard
so
pass.
just a little thing I was looking at today. I was like, okay, well, I guess Apple's always got to make you pay for something, right? Always with that.
I mean,
Anyway,
if we had shoestrings, that would be our budget. So
I feel that that's I think we run on less than that too. So
yeah,
but yeah, so we're just going to talk with these two fellas and kind of get their background and how everything goes and all that kind of stuff, and kind of preview a little bit of what they think about the upcoming DCI season and all that good stuff. So whichever one of you guys want to start, just kind of tell us who you are, kind of how you got involved with the activity, those kind of things like that.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'm going first. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex, but you please feel free to call me the Yeti.
hi the Yeti.
So that lovely nickname started when I was a whopping age of 18. I was a rookie with Southwind Drum and Bugle Corps when they're based out of Lexington. And for whatever reason, I decided to dye my hair blonde.
Bleach blonde.
Like bleach blonde.
bleach.
What year
blonde.
was
And
this?
I mean, 2004.
2004.
Oh,
I
so that's,
marched Southwind 04 to 07.
that's a little after the Frosted Tips era there, but
Oh,
I don't know.
100% after the frosted tips there.
You just
Tried to
missed
bring
me.
it back.
You just
tried
missed
to
me
bring it
at a Madison Scouts.
Okay, all right. Okay, nice. Good. That
We
was
would
a
have been
good-
housing
I
it.
like
That
that
was
show.
show.
We like that show. That was a good
That was
show.
a great show.
Chris, do you know what year Danny marched Southwind? Didn't he march Southwind?
You're asking the wrong dude right now. I can't remember off the top of my head. You think being a history teacher, I remember dates, but dates are like the worst. I'm like the worst at it. So
I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
I'm a
So-
PA.
So, long story short, we're in everydays, learning drill. I'm still pasty white, standing there, and Mark Police, our one visual instructor, like calls out from the box, "Hey Yeti, move a step to your right." Nothing. Just like, and he's like, "Yeti, Alex, yeah, what? Move right.
hilarious.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm Yeti now.
Yes.
Okay, cool." And then it's stuck ever since. Dyed my hair blonde for the last, or up until I aged out, and a legend was born, if you will.
Yeti also tans like a snow beast.
This is
so,
very true. I don't tan. I burn.
Yes.
Burn.
I burn.
Yep.
awesome.
Hi, I'm Day Day.
Hi, Day-Day.
My first name's also Alex. I marched Southwind 2006 and 2007. My nickname was not as exciting, but
it's still a good story.
it's a good story, I guess. I got it because in high school, I got a scholarship, and everyone always joked my entire life, like, my last name was Day. So like, every day of the week was for me and all that. So anyway, part of the scholarship was I got my own day named after me. So it was Alex Day. And so that stuck.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That is awesome.
So yeah, May 18th, if you all want a reason to celebrate every year. I do.
As you should.
But yeah, so we both marched, both aged out in 07 with Southwind, and
yeah. And then after a while, I briefly did some freelance work for ProMark Drumstick Corporation.
Okay.
Worked for the Cavaliers for a couple years. Day just sat at home and watched me work.
There's another story behind that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. we don't talk about that.
No, I was active in trying to keep Southwind in Lexington. There was a bit of a drama and a bit of a battle, but it's doing very well in Alabama.
It's doing very well.
We are both still involved and supportive of the Corps. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what I was doing while I was. There we go. That's where I was while you were off on tour.
True.
One of our former guests, well, we had him on, Terry Sanders. I don't know if he still works with Southwind, or he was working. Yeah, he works with Southwind right now. So
I think that's familiar.
I was going to say that name rings a bell. We've probably met him.
We probably have.
Yeah, we tried. So last few years when they've been in Avon Lake, we've that's a good 4 hours from us because we're down in the Cincinnati area.
Yeah, and
we literally would drive up, hang out with them, and drive home.
Yeah,
Cool.
That drive home was not fun.
No,
I bet I would not imagine so.
No.
Well, awesome. So, so you said you guys both aged out in 07. Is that what you said?
Yep,
sir.
Right.
Yep.
So have you guys have been involved with any like teaching anywhere or done any of that stuff, or you just?
I taught a few
fans?
years. Yeah, I taught a few years for a small band in Kentucky. Director had a heart attack the first year, so I kind of stepped up as like the assistant, and so I had a few years of teaching, but neither of our backgrounds are primarily in music. We both kind of have an AV background, but I went one direction, and Yeti's still in the AV world, but I went more into the business world. No one was hiring when I graduated, except Kroger. So that's where I started, and I've climbed up there. So
nice.
And I worked I worked in live event AV for about almost 10 years, and then obviously, unfortunately, COVID happened, and that came pretty close to killing the live event industry. And then I found a small part-time job until something full-time happened, and at that point it was
sorry,
that was me. I just knocked my mic halfway across the table here.
So now I essentially work AV integration, and been doing that for a while.
Awesome. That is really. I was like, that's really cool. Just I think one of the cool things about drum corps is that you don't have to keep pursuing music to love this activity, and and like
absolutely,
which is I think one of the coolest things about this is that there's so many shared experiences people have, and they're just in different parts of life. Like it's just really cool to kind of see that.
So did you two know each other prior to Southwind?
We went to college together, and I think we had one class together. And I remember we sat on opposite ends of the class. And I looked over, and I remember he was on the Cavaliers webpage, the old Cavaliers webpage. And because I auditioned, that was my first audition experience, was with the Cavaliers for their 06 season. And so I was like, oh, this guy's a drum corps fan. Like, that's cool. I should probably be friends with him. And then nothing really happened. And then we both marched Southwind, and we talked. I mean, he was a few horns down the arc, and we were in the same. We both played trumpet. And so, but after our first season together, when we came back, we both came back to the same school, and it was just like we picked it up right away, and we realized we had so much in common, so many common interests, and it just we became best friends.
Yeah.
That is cool, man.
I was gonna say that it's always a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was like,
Always.
that story where they just looked at each other and laughed, and that was the beginning of
Yeah.
yeah.
the road to
You-
friendship.
Yeah, if you guys can't tell, we're actually in the same room. We're in my office, and he's literally sitting right across from me. So if you see me look off the camera,
It's me.
I'm literally looking at him, just like, "Hi, buddy. I know you're right here, but you're right there."
It's all good.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
next thing, let's talk about Intermission Drum and Bugle Corps, because
Mhm.
we forever had the Couchman, right? That was like a big
Mhm.
deal for a long time. They finally decided to retire it and move on, and it seems like you guys kind of came in around that time and starting up, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's one of the best like ideas to pick up. So I love it. So kind of just talk about how you guys kind of came about this idea of Intermission Drum and Bugle and the average class and all that kind of stuff.
So
So I was like,
me?
yeah.
Okay,
You can go.
all right.
You can go first.
Thank you. So I'm sure every corps has this joke, if not most of the corps. But if you perform in the middle of the pack, we always had a rookie read off the lineup for who was going to be at the show, and it was always this anticipation. Where were you going to be? Were you going to be before or after intermission?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, when intermission was there, it was we made a huge deal out of it on the bus. We thought it was great. Man, I hear they're rocking this year. I mean, the joke, I'm sure everyone has this joke. If not, I know the Troopers and the Colts, we've really grown to have a great relationship with them. And I'm not knocking them, but usually because they're in the right around the intermission time zone. So I think they have that joke too.
Yeah. And then when we first started this,
Mhm.
probably about a year into it, we had somebody from Jersey Surf reach out to us.
I don't remember
You
this.
don't remember? Yeah, he essentially wanted to do the same thing that we were doing.
Oh yes.
And it was like,
He wanted to buy it. He
yeah,
wanted to buy it off of us.
He wanted to buy it from us.
off
And it's just like,
no.
no, and you're not going to like the price because, I mean, like Day Day has done all the graphic work for us. I mean, he self-taught. Like everything he creates is classic. Like, and you've kind of been dabbling in it before.
Yeah, I did it. Part of that recovery for Southwind was we were trying to recreate all of our past logos, and that was really where it came from. Was I think I got a bumper sticker of one of the old logos, and I'm like, how do you make this on a t-shirt? So that's where it started. But yeah, but originally we wanted to just have like a funny social media account. We just wanted to have, because we were watching finals one day, and again, we're number one fans of every single corps, but I mean, we were just making jokes. It's just kind of how we do, and
we were almost like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
yeah, we were just riffing
finals a little bit. That's
Yeah,
just,
that if you sit with us, you're not alone, because we're in the same
okay,
boat.
so we're not the only one.
So we wanted to make an account. We wanted to make an account that would do that, and so we were trying to play around with that. Which way do we go? And like we had a made up corps from Southwind, and I was like, well, that's only going to be funny for Southwind and only for the people who know the joke.
Yeah.
And so we just threw this around. And so finally, I think I was walking with my wife, and I was just like, we should do Intermission. And so we created the brand. The original, we were like, well, what class? Someone's going to ask, what class are we in? And so originally it was going to be 0 class. But then I was like, well, no, we don't want to have 0 class. That's not, we have some class. And then I was like, well, you got world and you got open. Well, what's in the middle? Well, average is in the middle. So then came average class, and it's purple because it's red and blue mixed together. I mean, and so yeah, it just kind of blew up from there. And then we really grew from DCI putting Intermission on the schedule. We will probably die if DCI ever takes the Intermission off the schedule, because that's been the number one thing that just keeps the
in
thing.
local news.
Yeah.
Two guys die after getting recognized by Drum Corps International.
Yeah. But I remember there were two memes. It was in 2018. We were just trying to figure it all out. 2019, like we were just making a bunch of memes. That it was, I think it was like 2021. So it was coming in. So it was the end of 2020, coming in 2021 season, and there were two memes that we did, and one was Blue Coats. Blue Coats posted this article that said Intermission is over.
Oh yeah.
And we just ran with this, like no, we're not.
We're here.
And so
Hello.
when you tag Blue Coats in a post, it just explodes. And so we got a big following from that. And then Carolina Crown posted this video. I still love it to this day, but it's like it's the traveling water jug. Do you remember that guy? That one?
Yeah.
This girl wants a water break. And they're not going to give it to her. And like this water jug, like magic, I just hit the microphone. This water jug like magically rolls to her, but they don't show it getting to her. And so we made this meme, like she got her water jug, right? And we tagged Carolina Crown in it. And it just, I think we got like 2,000 likes on that. It was just, it exploded from there. And so 2021 was great for us, but 2022 was the best. Yeah. And I mean, we went from like 300 followers to 1,000 in 1 year. Yeah. And it was all really just because we tagged, troopers, Colts. You just tag these corps and it's like, good luck, guys. And then those kids are on the bus, like, who tagged troopers in a photo? Oh, that's funny. And then we had,
and it literally has snowballed from there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've created some very, very creative and kind of silly videos that, like there was one, one's it's Day playing glasses that are full of Gatorade.
Yeah,
but each glass is a different color of Gatorade,
and it's different drum corps,
and it's a different drum corps, and it's a like a powerful lick from them. It's like
right.
Hey, check this out. Yeah. And then we have one more that we haven't posted yet. That I think that one actually features us.
Which one is it?
I don't remember. Okay. It's been that long since we filmed it. But
we have lots of ideas, but. And then the best part is and then Flow Marching would leave their high camera stream on the field.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's our show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would screen capture it, and then we would post it up and be like, here's our run through from last night. And people would run. I mean, you guys ran with it last year with like the 16 keytars or something in Allentown or whatever.
Your guys' comments. Like,
everyone starts to get the joke. Like, like you said, like never missed a drill. I never missed a set, and their forms are flawless. And, how do you juggle 10 bass drums? Like, I don't know. It's just the kids are just magical this year. So
I'll say your all spring training update video. I think you just put out.
I exploded. That one.
It was good.
And like
he just texted me.
I just texted him out of the blue. I was like,
we should do this.
We should do a spring training update. Like,
I'm like, all right.
And he's like, cool, let's do it. I was like. Because I mean, honestly, like a lot of the ideas come from his brain, and then he'll just like he'll shoot it to me and be like, "What do you think?" And some will be like, "That's funny."
Yeah, some of them
that's good.
Some of them aren't funny.
So some of them I was like, "Okay, tweak these words this way, and you got it."
Maybe next year.
That's a little dark.
Yeah. So I mean, and then. We love drum corps history.
Yeah, we do.
We've been playing with all these, we call them defunct corps international. So all the corps that have sadly passed on, and, like we got this little guy here, Too Cool VK, baby.
All that. Saw you guys post that out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, just having fun with that. But the serious side of Intermission, we do want to be community partners in drum corps. We don't mean to ever say we copied anybody, but I mean, we did look into what, Couchman was doing with like scholarships. I don't know how any of those panned out, because I know like I think he announced it, and then the pandemic happened, and then now he's going, he's folding.
Yeah.
So I don't know where any of that scholarship money went. I'm going to assume it went to a member. But I mean, like we every summer we try to raise a couple bucks.
First summer we tried to do. I was kind of trying to copy the Cavaliers backyard brawl, like with them and Phantom, and I was like, oh, we'll do the grill off.
Yeah,
because we're food related. Like
right.
We talk about snacks. We like food.
Yeah.
And
last year, our newest one was April Fuels Day.
Yeah.
So for the whole month of April, anything raised, we would donate. So we got $40 for the Colts.
Yeah. Put them in a random generator, and they got the $40.
Yeah. So, but this year, Empower Youth in the Performing Arts, which is Southwind's parent organization, actually reached out to us about doing a virtual run, and of course, we being Intermission, it's a 0K virtual run.
All that, yeah.
So
because who wants to run?
Who wants to run?
I don't want to run.
And even better, it's the no sweat virtual run. So that's our current fundraiser we're doing. So everything we raise for that's going to go. But I mean, we have plans for the future when we can actually go to physical shows. Yeah. I remember going, and that I think he's retired. He was like this brass doctor, and he had this van set up, and each certain course had an agreement. You could take your trumpet, and he'd fix something on it for you. So we're hoping that we can do something similar, where like we can take, deodorant, toothbrushes, things that the kids might need, and just give it to them. You're almost through tour. It's almost August, and I need deodorant.
I need sunscreen for the last week of the road. Here you go.
The last show we were at in Avon Lake, God bless Louisiana Stars. There's a bus problem.
Yeah, something happened.
They couldn't get to their housing site. And so they found a dollar store, and they bought all the kids toothbrushes and deodorant. And then they went on and performed. And I'm like, that's just awful. And so like that kind of inspired me. Like, what could we have something like that? And that would be something cool for Intermission. Yeah, we're selling a T-shirt, to fans. But if a kid needs something, they can come to our Suvi booth and be like, hey, I don't have any deodorant. Here you go. And just so those are the kind of goals we're really shooting for.
I mean, we truly want to be ambassadors to DCI and all these kids out there. I mean, it's something that changed my life. I'm pretty sure it changed all your guys' lives. I know it changed Day Day's life, and it's an activity that really, really, really needs some love and tender care. Like it just needs it bad.
Yeah, especially kind of the I mean, you look on the Twitter space right now, you see a lot of the rise of costs and getting out there.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like and I don't think a lot of people think about those little things like that, like that will go a long way, right? Just getting a stick of deodorant or getting a toothbrush, or some people don't realize how much deodorant you probably go through during an entire
a week.
Every crevice you got to make sure you're checking it, and all that stuff.
Like that $40 y'all had I was like, that's a lot. I was like, when you're in gym corps, that's gonna get put to use. Laundry day comes up, man.
It was great. I got a little thank you card too.
Oh yeah.
I was like, hooray! So proof. I said I donated the money. Proof. This is my receipt.
So I've got another question. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if it's a secret. You want to delve into secrets, but the logo design, kind of, what's it represents, and that kind of stuff that you got there for your Intermission.
You kind of bleeped in and out. I'm really sorry. What was the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. Your Intermission, your logo for Intermission. So you design it and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if there's any secrets or you can give away little things here and there. I know there's some things sometimes, but kind of go into the design process of what you have there.
There's not really a secret. I know we wanted to work in an hourglass in some way, and then like I kind of just like gave Day what I was like, this is what I have in mind.
Yeah.
See what you can do.
Yeah.
So
we made the hourglass is the eye in Intermission, and then the checkerboard is a picnic blanket. It's supposed to represent the pattern of a picnic blanket. The main logo has the 5 lines from sheet music, and then the colors. Honestly, those have been our favorite combination of colors: gold and black. Our college was gold and black. When we marched Southwind, it was gold and black. So that's a little bit of that's a little selfish push in there.
So
a little bit.
The gold and black means Northern Kentucky University, then, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yep.
A little bit.
See,
and
yes.
and then the north up.
North up.
But then like, I'll take my hat off. So it's kind of hard to see like the gray. Yeah, I know. I have hard hat hair. I'm sorry.
Dude, why do you think I wear one every podcast episode? I wear one because mine's terrible. I feel you, man.
It's pretty rough.
But like the gray, which Day has had to tweak a few times for a few different things. It literally was 50 Shades of Gray. Like he worked 50 Shades of Gray into it.
Yep.
And like I think I tried to get these hats and polo made, and they're like, "Oh, you have like you're way over your thread count." And it's like,
yeah. It's like, well,
how? It's just white, black, gray, and gold. Like what's like?
It's white, black, gray, slightly darker gray, a little bit lighter gray, white.
and then I told that to Danny. He's like, "Oh no, they're actually like they actually can see the breakdown that there are 50 shades of." I was like,
"Yeah,
oh, let's adjust that." Yeah,
live and learn.
Hey, it's still funny though.
That's hilarious.
What we do. Yep.
You got,
but yeah, that's where it came from. And then we just totally stole the Average Class logo from DCI, and then put the X with the line over it, and
looks
there
great.
It is.
I love it. Yeah, it looks so good. It looks like legitimately like it would be like up on the screen at Indianapolis, like up there.
That's
so
what we're hoping for.
Good
Speaking
job
of, we in 2021 we submitted a performance for that performer showcase. that individual ensemble. If you go back, we're on that schedule.
Yep.
We submitted one. They emailed us, and they're like, we can't judge it because there's no music.
Yeah. We did not play a single note.
We didn't do anything.
Nothing.
We just stood there
and ate Pop-Tarts. Sorry. Nondescript breakfast toaster pastry.
Yes.
And so when they told everybody like, hey, we're gonna show the videos on the Jumbotron in Indianapolis, we were like, finally, and they didn't do it for us, but we got patches.
We did get patches. It took them a minute because I actually had to. I was like, hey, where's
our patches go? But yeah, we are.
I should sew that on my hat.
Yeah, one day we're gonna. There's the flow marching graphic is going to show up when Intermission's on the field, and it's gonna happen.
That'd be cool. I would have pushed like there's no music. It's like, well, what is music? The crinkling of the paper, the eating of the pastry.
We gotta go philosophical on that.
You know, like what? I mean, like to be that
Can
way.
You define
anyway,
for me.
Yeah.
What is it you're looking for?
Well, Zach, you got any questions for them before we roll into some other stuff?
That actually covered a lot for me.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, let's transition a little bit because we're at the time of this recording. I think we're 2 weeks out. I think from the start of the season, 2 weeks ish, somewhere around there,
roughly.
Yeah. So, what's something you're looking forward to? What's a quarter you're excited about? We've been going through show announcement for the last 8 episodes. It feels like, because they just keep trickling out. But what's something you're looking forward to that you've seen so far or heard about?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very much so looking forward to the Cavalier show this year. My brother is a former marching member. He's actually on staff with them this year, and an old alum lives near us, and we go to his house on the river for the WEBN fireworks, and he like did his best not to like just spill the beans and gush to me about everything about the show, but just because of how excited he was. And I mean, that the Cavaliers has been a core that I've always enjoyed. I mean, I've enjoyed everybody really. There's some shows that's like, okay, but then it's like, oh, that's a cool show. And the show for them this year sounds like it's, if I was the core director of them, I would have made that the show for last year, because it was the 50th of DCI. In my mind, that kind of nostalgia makes sense. Kind of wish a few more cores would have done that last year, but that's just me.
I almost feel like it was expected last year. Yeah, I think we talked about that on one of our episodes, but I mean, I'm teetering between Madison and Phantom. I know Madison was posting a lot of teasers like something in this show is in our show this year.
Oh, that was, of course, classic marketing.
And of course, every single one of them, I had a sarcastic remark, and I'm like, I can't say it. And then Phantom, I think some of their interviews have just, I don't want to sound like they're overconfident, because I mean, I know Phantom's been fairly confident the past few years, but I mean, I think they won the crowd in 2021. I'm pretty sure if you had a fan vote, I think they won in 2021 with Harmonic Journey, which that was a smart move.
Yeah.
If you have a year off and you want to rally people to you, that was the show to do. And I cried a little bit for it. But good crying. Crying.
Oh yeah.
Disclaimer. But I've always had a soft spot for those two. Cavies also. I think my first drum corps I saw live was the Cadets, but then my band director was like, "Oh, look at this corps," and it was 2002 Cavaliers, and I was like, "I have to march drum corps right now."
Yeah, well, William, my first corps experience was 99 Madison Scouts.
Yeah,
let's go
on video. Because my sophomore year in high school, the band director was like, "Cool, we're doing Jesus Christ Superstar." It's like,
just like this.
It's like, okay, and he's like this. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sign me up.
I tell people all the time, I was like, my band director showed us. No, actually, it was our assistant band director that was helping us during our marching season. Showed the band during like a break or something. A video of the 95 Scouts. Now, that 95 show was it for me. And
that's the show we listen to like every car ride, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
same.
Oh yeah.
All dropped the whole time. And it was the show that made me want to march. And my actual first corps was supposed to be Pioneer, but my parents weren't having it. They were like, "We're not paying for that." I was like, "Okay." So I'm like too young to have any money really. So when that fell through, I got an opportunity to march Scouts in 03 later. So I was like, okay, what made it bad is they wanted me to play euphonium, and I was like, well, I'm not a low brass player. I play trumpet. So I was a high brass player. So I'm like, the first time I got asked, I actually turned them down because I freaked out. I was like, dude, I don't play low brass or anything like that. So like maybe 3 to 4 or 5 days or so went by, and I got asked again. And I said, you know what? Okay. Talked to my parents, and they finally helped her out. I had some money stashed, finally made it work out. And then I went to my old band and asked the director, can I borrow a mouthpiece? And that's all I did until the time I went up to go to the corps for whatever. And I just worked on it, and then clear was good. And I already knew how to march. I was already fit, doing all that kind of stuff. So I went in it and we just knocked it out. And it was like the best year. The only thing I was mad about is I didn't get to wear that was the first year Scouts switched to new uniforms.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was
the train. Oh,
Yeah.
It was the first time you saw the Fleur de Lis on
the half fleur.
Yeah.
Oh, that uniform was so classic.
Mm-hmm.
I love that uniform. That uniform was clean.
Yeah,
dude, I was like happy and mad at the same time because I wanted to wear the old one. I was like, man, the old one was so cool to me for some reason because it was the first thing I've ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
So when we got there and they showed us there, and I was like, man, what is this? I was like, okay, this is cool too.
Yeah,
this is cool too. But yeah, man,
that was my feeling in 07 because in 06 we had black and white uniforms, and then we were both aging out, and they're like, "Hey, we got new uniforms this year," and they walked out and they were yellow, and I'm like,
"Oh yeah,
thank you."
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I wanted to march in a yellow.
I mean,
like,
the black and white worked.
It worked
for distorted imagination
and duality.
It worked for duality, except for the pants we had to wear because the high brass side we were in white pants, but they were the winter pants.
The winter pants, yeah.
So they were like double layered, and it's just like after getting off the field, I'm just like my legs are gonna like melt off.
I
cut them off.
Like
I can't remember. Is it 04 or when? Because when I was in it, Southwind was still the feeder corps.
So Southwind and Madison parted ways early 2005.
That's okay, because I knew it was real soon after I was there. And I was like,
we were still under the Madison umbrella in 04 because we were still marching G Bugles, and man, that was an experience and a half.
And I was like, these days have no idea.
I actually love the experience to an extent. My horn on the pinky ring, like all the silver had worn off, so I had a nice big old callus at the end of the season that like just at one point just peeled off for no reason.
I was about to say, is it still there all these years later?
No, thank God. See, almost 20 years later, that had me worried.
They was tripping because the euphonium, man, it's like holding a contra with a trumpet guts. It's like it's nothing but bell, so that's what made it so terrible. The guts were fine to me because it was more center located, but the bell is so far out. It's like, why is it so far out? And they come by, just lift it up, and you just want to throw it at them.
God, I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Had the correct your posture.
Oh yeah. So any of you guys done like did any of you guys do horn appreciation basics?
Swapped horns,
like
around.
where you swapped horns?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I hated the mellophones over the trumpets.
Mellophones all day, man. Mellophones so freaking top heavy, it's crazy.
You can't see anything.
Listen.
So 04, I got stuck with my soprano. 05, I was like, you know what? I'm not getting stuck with my soprano again. This is boring. Took a tuba. They're like, all right, everybody horn up. I'm like I knew what I was doing. Slammed it on my shoulder, and then they're like, put them down, do it again. I was like, okay, put it down. All right, back up. And then I was like, you know what? I went hardcore the first one, so I literally bent over. I was like, nope, you got my best the first time. Not again. And I think I got a baritone or a mellophone once.
Listen, I know.
I don't remember it sex much.
Her conscience hated us, especially if somebody did something wrong and they forced us to stay there.
I'm pretty sure ours hated us too at some point.
Yeah.
The baby monitor was on and the babies were crying. So I had to.
Listen,
Chris ran away. Did I say something to offend her?
I was so mad. How dare you pick up a tuba like that? I can't believe it.
Man, we ain't ever gonna get invited anywhere ever.
No. You did a tuba like that. You're done.
They're going to announce intermission, and these guys are going to be like, all right, well, there's nothing important to talk about on the field right now.
Skip.
Talk about all the other drum corps.
Gonna go get a snack, bathroom break.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Let's see. We usually ask our guests this that have done it before. I think some of you guys, that you mentioned it already, but what show? I think both of you guys mentioned this, but what show sparked you being like, "Yep, that's what I want to do"?
It was 99 Scouts,
99 Scouts for
and
me.
O2 Cavaliers,
And that, but
Cavaliers.
So that was my first video experience. My first live experience was we hosted Phantom and Cadets in 03. And a guy I actually marched high school with marched Phantom 03, and then
nice.
like it was
such a good group.
Such a good
Both
show.
of those shows were.
03 Cadets was great too, and that was like my first actual like drum corps show was was at Fairfield High School, and I was like, that is baller. Yeah. I need to do that.
Yeah, like, I think that the cadets held an all-day clinic in 02, and we went to I went to the Horn Arc, and they just sat all these high school kids, right in the middle of the Horn Arc, and they just, I just hit our microphone, and they just blasted us, and I was like, my band was small. I had a 40-member band, and I think their horn line's bigger than we were. I was just like, this is amazing. And then to see O2 Cavies on, and I think I saw it on a screen that was like, 12 inches. And I'm like, I got to do this. Yeah. I have to be in that. I have to be in this activity. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
See, because in high school, it was funny. We actually hosted the Kiwanis Cavaliers.
Nice.
Remember them?
I do.
Old school
They're on my
Cavies.
list. They're on my list to recreate.
Yeah. We were back when I was still in Kentucky. Yeah, Kiwanis Cavaliers stayed at our school, and I was like,
"What part of Kentucky?"
This was the Hopkinsville area.
Yeah, Zach and I are from Bowling Green, so that's how we all kind of met. Yeah, we all kind of taught together in this area. And then
I should have guessed since Zach's wearing a Hilltoppers shirt.
Yeah.
Heck yeah,
Heck
yeah.
Roll Tops, man.
So,
Roll Tops.
That's why I knew that you guys went to NKU when you said your college was black and gold. I was like, I know exactly where that is.
I know where you guys are.
Yeah, I know exactly where that is.
Yep.
So,
but I do have one question because I don't know. You may have mentioned this at some point on a podcast that I might have missed. Are any of you guys symphonians?
All hail. All three of them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Said is one as well. So
yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Day is not. I could not get him to drink the Kool-Aid, but college was a weird time.
Man. It's always weird, man. It's always weird.
Yeah.
I feel like college is like almost like middle school part 2. Like you're trying to find your way again and don't know what you're doing with your life, and
don't.
Yeah.
I still don't know what I'm doing with my life.
I promise you.
Like not a single bit.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think of some other things here that we can talk about. Oh, here's a good thing. We always ask we have a lot of our students that know that we do this. They listen every once in a while. And so, someone might be thinking about going down the route of doing drum corps or something like that. What is some advice for some kids or prospective, marchers that are trying to go to that DCI level? Like, what are some things that you would like to bestow upon the younger generation to think about as they're going through this?
Do it. I know a lot of people say like it's life changing. I think it's life shaping. I think for me, this was, you said it perfectly. College was middle school part 2. I remember my first 2 years of college. I probably would have been clinically depressed. I probably would have been diagnosed clinically depressed. I had no idea who I was, where I was going. And so all I knew is I really wanted to be in drum corps. And, when I got to the first Southwind camp, which was a January camp, I think. And, I automatically felt like I was at home, and these people around me, like, they just called out in a loving way. I know it always sounds like they're yelling at you, but I mean, they called out in a loving way what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. and you just have to make this change. And so I learned so many life skills, very basic life skills. I mean, everyone always says you learn time management. Like, I remember my first show, I was late to the bus, and you look back on it, it's like I had 2 hours to get ready. What was I doing? And so it, you know, and after doing 100 push-ups, I never was late again. But it just some of these very basic life skills, but also just how to interact with other people who can be vastly different than you are, and how to love them and how to get along with them. And I mean, conflict resolution. I mean, just we had, you know, I know a lot of, you know, you don't bring up religion and politics and a lot of things, and sometimes it would creep up, and that's not why we're here. You know, you oriented people back to the roots, and you figured out why you were here. But I remember my first year, I think I lost like 30 pounds, and seeing myself in the mirror, I hated looking at myself in the mirror before drum corps. And when I saw myself, it just was this flash, like, you've changed. And it was just more than just a physical appearance. But, yeah, I mean, as that's on the mushy side, but I mean, on the other side, I mean, you'll never work harder. You'll never learn how to work. You'll never learn how to work as hard as you do here. I mean, running back in between reps, holding that gigantic bell up that goes out this far, you know, why am I doing this? Because I love it, you know, and and just working together to make this product. So as far as advice, you know, do it, go into it knowing what you want to hold on to as yourself, but also being open to those around you. But if you're serious about it, though, I highly recommend getting into some kind of physical shape. The requirements now are ridiculous. One of the clips we haven't released because it just hasn't flown together yet. We held auditions, because believe it or not, that's one of the number one questions we get is when are audition packets coming out. So we actually made an audition packet, and then I said we should make an audition video, like demonstrating what we want the kids to do, because Blue Devils did. I actually found it on their website. They actually showed you what they wanted you to do, and I'm watching this and I'm like, I don't think I could have done this, even when I could march. I don't think I could have done some of this stuff. So I would find, even if you're not going to be in the Blue Devils, you know, not everyone can make it out to California. You know, watch the Blue Devils videos. They have 20 championships? I've lost count. How many championships do they have?
All of them.
18.
They have all of them.
They have all of them.
Yeah.
Every other year, it feels like.
But there's a reason.
Yeah.
And they're good. So how do they get good? Well, watch their audition videos. But and
march on a field that's just cratered.
Yeah, and do not rule out open class. Have you guys ever been to an open class show, like solely open class show?
Not solely, no.
I'll watch them.
I tell you what, those kids work and perform just as well. That's the only drum corps show we've actually physically gone to since 2017.
Yep.
Is an open class show up in Avon Lake, and these guys are amazing. These guys and girls, excuse me, are amazing, and they sound just like a world class corps. I mean, the Southwind that we watched last year had 90 people, and they sounded better than our world class version in 2007. And it's just so don't rule out open class. You're gonna get the same kind of experience really anywhere you go, and you're not gonna remember that you got 5th or 3rd, or you'll probably remember if you got 1st. But you're
remember that one.
I mean, there's a ring or something.
Yeah, something sticks out.
You know, hand gets a little heavy.
You're gonna miss though those other 100 people.
Oh yeah,
so much. And I mean, I'm so glad I've got a best friend out of it. I miss the other 121 people though, like it's going out of style. But but get in some kind of shape, watch those audition videos, And then the attitude. I know a lot of corps say this. The attitude is the biggest thing. You know, don't go in there like you are the top dog, because you ain't. They also want to know, are you going to get along with the rest of their family? Are you gonna fit into their group? And not to say like you got to be cool or anything like that, but like, you don't be a bad word.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah. Don't be a jerk. Yeah. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Day literally hit every point on the nail, just on the head, just done.
But absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
if
you
100%.
if you can't afford it, do it.
Yeah. I mean, and even if you can't afford it, like I struggle to afford it.
People will help you.
And, one of my neighbors and family friend for my whole life, his son marched 1980 or 82 Blue Devils. Ooh. And as soon as Mr. Racky found out I was auditioning and marching drum corps, he's like, "Oh yeah, here you go, money." Yeah. Like, he's just like, "Yeah, I know what this experience is going to give you."
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the 80s experience is way different than what we're experiencing now. You know, different drill, different horns, all that, you know, all that stuff. But
I mean, the mission is the same.
The mission and experience as well. I was about to say, you know, like what you're getting from it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember my auditions in 2004. I didn't join up with Southwind until April camp.
Yeah.
And like the soprano instructor ended up being my high school's band director the next season, because the director I had left. And like every break we took, he'd come up to me. He'd be like, "You doing okay? You having fun?" I was like, "Yeah, you know," because I mean, at that time I was quiet. Like I was I'm going to sit in the corner and I'm just going to observe, or, you know, I'm not going to engage unless, you know, I was shy. And man, did drum corps bring that out of me during my first season, during everydays, right before dress rehearsal. Like I had some body issues and I was like, I'm going to shower before everybody else. I would get up before the corps and shower. And then it came dress rehearsal time. It's like, well, I got to shower. I'm not getting in uniform dirty.
Yeah.
And that's an experience. And it's camaraderie at its finest, really.
And one last thing I think, though, and this is the hard one, is you need some tough skin.
Yeah.
I worked in retail for 10 years. I was a manager of a store, and I would always have this talk right around Thanksgiving, Christmas, all those holidays. And I would tell them, please and thank you are probably going to not be used a lot the next few days. That doesn't mean I don't mean it. And so it's in drum corps is the same situation. You're hot, you're sweaty, you're trying to get 100 kids, really 100 cats, to do everything the same way, the same time. And if you don't do it, just because they're yelling or just because they're speaking loudly does not mean that they are berating and putting you down. And I have seen some tweets pop up where, you know, there may be validity to it, there may not be validity to it, but some of these kids were complaining about something a staff member said. You know, I kind of have to ask my question. You know, I had a staff member shout at me from the box in front of my parents, and my parents almost fainted. It wasn't anything bad. He was shouting. That's all it was. And then the very next rep, he told me I was doing a great job. So, you know, you need some tough skin going into this. Not every staff member is going to pat you on the head and hold your hand. No one's going to hold your hand doing this. So get ready for that.
Yep.
Some good answers.
Drum corps is the I would say probably one of the truest. Experiment's the wrong word, but it truly shows you the full spectrum of the human condition. It really does. 100%.
Yep. And what can you tolerate?
What can you tolerate? What can't you tolerate? I mean, can you tolerate a staff member meowing at you when you don't horn up hard enough? Which we have a story about that for another time. But it's. I mean, I got yelled at a few times. I actually got told to run a lap because I didn't realize they were talking to me about something I missed in a formation. And then, like, as soon as I started running a lap, like, I was maybe halfway through it, and he's like, "Do you know what? You know why I did that?" I was like, "Yep, I got it next time." Like, not this will not happen again, and it did not.
Don't beatbox to Dr. Beat during practice.
No, definitely do not beatbox to Dr. Beat.
You're not the
rehearsals.
cadets in spin cycle. You're not.
No. We may or may not have gotten yelled at for doing so.
Yeah.
We made the drum major laugh.
They stopped the whole corps.
Yep.
For that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking about this last episode. The amount of like videos you see now of the craziness that happens on the field. I feel like beatboxing,
like GoPro footage and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? I think it's a reel where it's a compilation now where it's a guy got the GoPro. He's like, it's from Blue Coats. He's like, "Oh, thank you for riding the Blue Coats train or whatever." Like, that's what we got in trouble for.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so crazy.
We were facing backfield going, and I'm just like, and he's joining.
I promise it's every call.
Oh yeah.
It's gotta be.
But when your drum major's rolling on the ground laughing from it, that's
when things get bad.
Sorry.
Me and Chris's wife got in trouble a few times for dancing from set to set versus marching in our day.
Nice.
Yeah, we really led by example.
Yeah, true leaders on the
Actually, we got our 07 soloist in trouble.
Okay, so if you listen to 07's ballad, the trumpet solo, who ended up being a Phantom Regiment trumpet soloist. What year was the Into the Light show?
That was
10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah. So the flugelhorn soloist from 10 Phantom, he was our soloist in 07. Yeah. Great guy.
Love him.
So he has this lick at the very end of the ballad. And I was like, that's the Midas commercial. Trust the Midas touch. Ding. So we sang that to him once. And every rep for a day, he starts, so we all did push-ups with him. It's all
oh man, wrecked his solo for
forever.
Did.
He's like probably mentally preparing himself in show.
He told us that he's for quarterfinals. He's like, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say what, ET. Don't say what.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nail it.
All right. Before we wrap all this up, I'm going to have to ask you guys. Way too early. Top 3. Who's doing it? Who's doing it?
Okay, top 3. Okay.
Top 3. I'll give you some cushion. That way, you know.
Okay.
Based on no evidence.
The devils have to meddle.
If the devils don't meddle, we riot.
It's Blue Devils first, second, and third.
That's
even happen. The other corps get bumped up. What? Okay.
How did they win all 3?
Blue Devils C get third. I'm done with drum corps.
Yeah, let's see. I think Boston probably has the momentum, and man, I don't know. What are Blue Coats doing again this year? Have they announced it?
We don't know yet. We won't know till August. That joke.
Yeah.
They might not even know, honestly.
They may, yeah. What are we practicing anyway?
What's the name of the show again? Guten Tag Pop Clop.
Someone just hit shuffle on their iPod, and that's the show. I think Crown might medal.
Yeah, I mean,
with Camelot. I mean,
yeah,
I would not be mad.
Yeah,
no,
I'm ready for
that. I mean, their horn line is always just so good.
Yeah.
Like,
So we're gonna start a petition though that for finals during intermission, they should put a Vanguard collage on the jumbotron so that Vanguard's still there.
That'd be cool.
So we will concede our time.
Yes.
For that.
Anybody from DCI watching?
So when you see that post, make sure you get on board with us on that one. So,
I mean, I hope the Cavaliers medal. This sounds like a show that could.
I'm excited about it.
Devils. I mean,
I think it's in DCI's bylaws.
They are the literal powerhouse of drum corps. The only time I have seen them falter in my entire viewing experience was 05.
Yeah.
And even, that was a good show, but no one grasped that it was going in reverse.
Yeah.
If people if people would have fully grasped that, I think they would have been even more dangerous. And I don't think the European tour really helped them either.
No.
I don't know. Crown, there's honestly anybody from the top 6 last year probably could pull off a medal this year.
Yep.
I mean, so many staff changes have happened for a bunch of groups. I mean,
so we did an episode over that, and I think I've read like for 20 straight minutes the staff changes that happened.
Oh, it's insane. But that's the nature of the beast now. It's like, those guys got let go from this corps. We just let those guys go. Let's pick them up.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like, let's see what they can bring. We know their experience. We've seen their work.
It's like, it feels like college. It feels like college
transfer
sports.
portal.
100% the transfer portal.
Yeah, that's what it feels like every time. It's crazy the parallel there. But all right. Well, I think we got it.
I think the only thing I want to plug.
Yes, plug away.
Are these Swedish fish blue raspberry lemonades?
Listen,
good Lord! I'm gonna eat one now.
You got to describe it for us if you're going to eat it. See, look at that, man. Why don't we have a podcast room where we can do that? Will, I need you to move back.
Here you go.
So there's a fruity aroma.
It's definitely got the aroma of blue raspberry, but it's more lemonade forward, and it still tastes like a Swedish fish. Yeah, it's just good.
Some ASMR,
going on now.
Awesome.
But go ahead, plug away. Give us some. Give your spiel. All that stuff.
Give our podcast a listen to. Snack Talk. We try to talk about random stuff. We talk about food. We talk about one of the fun things I think we did we revamped it. Are the What Coulda episodes, which Day has dove into deep on a couple of them. You
guys might like that one.
Yeah, those ones. I even saw like a YouTube video of what would have happened if Southwind would have overtaken Bluecoats in 2000. And it's Data and I literally talked about that on a podcast.
Yeah.
Because even looking at that recap, that's Southwind's ahead of them in everything except for one caption.
Yeah.
And that was the nail in the coffin. And then what if, I'm trying to remember all the What Coulda episodes.
What if every finalist was still performing? What if every corps that had made finals was still performing today?
Yeah.
What would the scene look like? So
how
so crazy.
Oh my God,
more crazy than what it is. I don't think people really understand.
Yeah. No, we talk about food. In the original iteration, we interviewed Lawrence Leclerc, the director of Southwind. At some point, we'd definitely love to have one, if not all of you guys on our podcast.
Listen, we talking food and drum corps. I am there. So.
Oh yeah, we might have to make an extended snack talk because we've honestly it's you know what we should keep ours try to keep ours around 15 minutes just because that's intermission.
Yeah,
that's our time slot. So. But I think for you guys, we could probably make an exception to go.
We'll do like a rain delay or lightning delay.
There
So
you
we
Yeah.
go.
can say
There we are.
There we go. Look.
See?
Yeah,
It's
we
already
got
our
in motion.
arch rival, rain delay.
Yes.
Oh,
Always. Well, guys, I appreciate you, and I know we all appreciate you guys being on here.
yes. It's been
Awesome social media. Follow them on Twitter,
you.
Instagram, Intermission Drummer Bugle Corps. What's your ats on both of those, real quick?
Instagram is at the Intermission DVC, and Twitter is just Intermission DVC.
There you go. Give them a follow. They are awesome.
Thank you.
Doing a lot of good things. I'm looking forward to like your big time goals and what you have going on here, because I think that's some goodness that's happening in DCI is what's needed. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
100%.
yeah. So Yeti, I'll shout out you there. Day, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Myself, for our podcast, we'll just go ahead and do our shouts out real quick. Find us all the time: YouTube, Spotify, Anchor.fm, maybe Apple if I pay them the moolah to do that. We'll see
Instagram.
what happens there. Catch us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all on the back hash. You find all that there. I'm going to try to get the Instagram back going up a little bit stronger. I've been school kind of ran into it and stuff got crazy. So we're almost close to a milestone. We almost have 200 subscribers on YouTube, so we're almost there on that.
Yeah.
So
Get it.
get us there.
We have-
We're starting to
We have
make
9.
it.
So we have a whopping 9.
Hey, it all starts somewhere, man. Listen, if it
We
wasn't
have
for
over,
our
we have over
grandmas,
1,000 on Instagram, though.
if it wasn't for our mamas and daddies and all that, I don't think we'd be where we are today. So it's all got to happen somewhere.
Yeah.
So for myself, Will, Zach, and Sed, who is probably playing with his cat right now or something. I don't know what's going on there. But
Hopefully he's
We
writing
will-
some music because
He needs to be right.
He needs to be.
he should be writing. Yes, he should be doing that. So, but for all of us, see you all next week. We are Dut
Dut
out.
Out.
I love it. Love it.
See ya.